Well, hello there. Hope you enjoyed the walk in. It's a stunning place where we're at here, right in the heart of Northumberland. It's a place I've come lots of times before with the family. Not this particular spot where we're at now. I only found this last year. It's a beautiful place. It's an ancient woodland, one of the largest left in the UK, in a place called Banks or Stonewood Gorge. The place I'm camping tonight is behind us, is steeped in history. Its first record of anything here was a Roman altar. Then it was a sort of wooden peel, that's a Celtic word, stronghold. Then later on it was turned into a castle, believe it or not, for quite some time. Then handed over to the monks at one stage, then dissolution of monasteries. I think that's when it went in decline. But as you can see coming in, if I showed you the steep sides, on either side, a little bit of a causeway before you get to the gatehouse where we're sat now. It would have been very hard to attack by the time you sort of climbed up the gorges and the cliffs. You know, they would be waiting by longbows and everything sword at the top of it. The defensive position is just an outstanding place. You can see why through the years it was carried on. So that's it set up. There's going to be no need for guideline tonight. There's no wind forecast. Just a little bit of a new kit. Picked up a sort of Z mat from Decathlon. It was only £15. But just get a little bit nervous doing woodland camps. That could end up puncturing me thermarest mat. So that'll save us pinching Lisa's yoga mat. I always like leaving it really late. I'm going to check around, but I haven't seen anybody at all since I've come anyway. Before I set up, there's nothing stealthy about that flex steel pump, so I'll wait a little bit for that. All set up now. Gonna get some food on. And Ellie bought one of those sort of, is it expedition meals, I think? The daughter for a Duke of Edinburgh, which she passed. We got her a couple. I think she was too busy just eating snacks and sweets. So she brought one back, a mac cheese. But I didn't fancy. I thought I'll go out and make something a little bit more substantial. Looking at the forecast, it does look like the clouds starting to come in a little bit, like what, which is true to forecast. I'm just going to got some water on here. I've got some like Idaho mash. This could be a right laugh, by the way. I certainly haven't got the qualifications of the below average wild camper when it comes to cooking, but I'll try my best. Not let the Northeast team down. I think there was a deer close at hand just before there. It sounded like a dog. So I was like, oh no, I hope it's not a dog walker coming up this late at night. But then it sort of barked again. It's definitely a deer. But this is the cheesy match. You can smell it. Perfect measuring. That's bloody good actually. What I'm going to do is sausage and onion gravy, but that's going to be an experiment as well. We've just chopped the onion, put some gravy granules in with the onion, with a little bit of curry powder. Some people might gag at that, but I love a little bit of curried gravy. With the right dish, of course. So I was saying earlier on, sold some more bonsai. It comes a... This, I knew it would sort of happen. I remember the first wild camp and seeing them views, the cloud inversion and the sunset, and thinking, oh, you could get obsessed with this. Some of the shots you see on Instagram and different videos. Well, I've got cracking camera and photography and drone footage, and I've seen some great videos with the drone footage. So I was like, oh, I could do one of those. So, as I say, most of the bonsai are going now. Bonsai is like a hobby where it does take a lot of time and a commitment. You know, when you've been caring for and producing bonsai for so long, they become worth quite a bit of money. It's always a panic when you're on holiday, who's going to be looking after them. And as I say, I'm obsessed with this hobby now. Bonsai is something I can take up when my legs no longer can get us up the mountains. And I can start that again. And to be honest with you, I'm more enjoying the journey of bonsai, sort of producing them, bringing them on, than I have really been caring for them the last 2 years. So I've got a few more to sell, but I've managed to buy the drone with the proceeds so far. I need to practice with that. I only got it yesterday, registered, got the insurance on it, thank God, and took it out for its first flight tonight. I had a little go in the garden, not very high, just getting used to the controls, but that's something which I'm going to have to do a lot of practicing on. It's a little bit of an expensive piece of kit, but some of the footage you can get on them are just unreal. And for me, as I say, it's all about making the memories. Probably more for the grandkids or the kids when they get older, and maybe getting a little bit of when their kids get up and thinking, oh, what's left. So, as I say, this hobby, getting out like this in nature, is just absolutely phenomenal. I come back feeling so refreshed, and the walking, the sort of bagging the Wainwrights and everything, it's been fantastic so far. I'm loving it. Up to 103 now since October, and we've got the rest of the walks plotted. Trying to plan another through hike or trail, whatever you want to call it. Me and Andy can only get certain time off together. Both manage the garden centre, so March is a good time. So we're thinking about the Sky Trail. We've looked at a couple of others. I'm going to try and get out on a short one in the summer, see what my holidays are going like. But time just goes. You've got to get them planned. Right, now the experiment. That looks terrible, doesn't it? The gravy granules, onion, and a little bit of curry powder. You know, it's thickening up not too bad. So Richmond's meat-free sausages. I was full-on vegan for about 3 years. Vegetarian probably the last 2 years. So I hadn't really eaten meat until a little bit lately. My daughter was vegetarian first, and that's how got me into it. I started watching some videos to make sure I was going to get the right nutrition, and started watching a couple of things called Knives Over Forks and Cowspiracy, and I put us off eating meat. So But I had to tell her the truth. On the West Highland Way, the calories we were burning up, and we only stopped a certain amount of times. The food options were a little bit limited. But when we stayed in the hotel, first one, where was that? The Drovers. Sort of got up in the morning, there was a sort of option of some cereal or full English, and I was starving. So I was a little bit naughty on that one, on the West Highland Way. But if there's a non-meat option, I think I'll always choose that. There's certain things what you do miss. But these sausages, believe it or not, taste as good as they don't smell as good though. When you're cooking, when you're camping, me and Lisa were away at a festival last summer. Everybody's cooking the bacon and the sausages in the morning, and we were cooking ours, and it just don't have the smell. So you could smell the other campers cooking their sausages and the bacon. It was like, oh, do you know what? That looks all right. Just gonna add the mash to the edge, warm it up again. Actually, tell it to okay that. Could have done with a bit more water, that mash. Right, that'll do. I'm gonna take this somewhere with a little better view and come back to you soon. Well, I finished it all. It was nice. Just gonna sit up here and watch the last of the sun. I don't know if you can pick it up. You can hear the river down below. It sort of skirts around this big mound. There's quite a few flies around. It's a little bit fiddly to put together, the one tigress one. It's not like the little bush box which has the hinges. It's the one we've got to slot together. So I'm pleased I practiced that before I brought it out. But it's nice. Self-contained, leave no trace, just sat on a few rocks. A Titan bar, kind of beat an Aldi Titan bar, and some licorice all sorts off the daughter for my birthday. There's plenty of dry sticks around, but I brought up some kindling from home. Last thing I wanted was if there was quite a bit of rain, if it was wet twigs and the little twig boxes setting up smoke signals where we are. It's just a job. It's after 9:30 now. Still late, and the sun's gone down, but it's still very late. I'm going to finish my cuppa. Have a couple more. I think we've got a signal up here, so I've just had a couple of messages off the family, sent them one home, and get back in the tent. Unless anything crazy happens overnight, we'll bring you back in the morning. Good night. That's a proper coffee. Do prefer those coffee bags. I was using the sachets, the 2 ones with the milk and the coffee mixed in, but I just found them far too sweet. So I took some of the coffee bags on the West Highland Way, It's just a proper coffee in the morning. It's a much better kick. So that and the Titan bar, that'll do. It's not much of a walk back to the car. I'll get some proper food when I get home. Don't normally have breakfast first thing. I normally wait till I get to work and have some toast about sort of 10. But different if you were having a big hike, you would have to load up first thing. I am enjoying the woodland camps, but I'm looking forward to getting back on the mountains. So you've got them clear views in the morning. It's a nice time of year in the woodland with the spring flowers and the leaves just coming on, but the mountains are calling. The good thing is with extra lights, well, we've got some walks booked with the Wainwrights, is we can still get a day in at work, travel across the lakes, do a couple of hills, camp on one, then get an early start in the morning without the 1.5 to 2 hour drive. So the next walks on the Wainwrights will be wild camps beforehand, if the wind's not too bad. So I'm looking forward to those. Well, I'm going to enjoy this. We'll get packed up and bring you back on the walk down. All packed up. That's where I was. Left no trace, even fluffed the grass back up. And that's where I had the little twig burner set up. Just throwing the rocks back down the bank, no marks on them. So we should always leave it like you haven't been yet. Right, we'll bring you back on the journey on the way back down through the woods, through the gorge. It's been a good one. Bring you along the way.